Alcatraz. Look at them all. And not even that, but if you look at the box just now, it's covered in flames. And when you open it up, you hear like a ghostly scream when you open it up. Now, to me, this just seems like it's pointing to something in hell. Because as Jack mentioned before, you've got the Hellhound Pit, and then you've even got the Hellhounds. Now, if we're going into story right now, let's just take into consideration this happened for about 10 years before Samantha was in control of the zombies. Yet, in this mode, it's Samantha's voice actress, or voice actor even, doing the perk drops. But if you play on Grief, it's a different person doing the announcement. The announcer is different. It sounds like Brutus, but clearer than Brutus. It just makes me think that there's something else happening on the map rather than what you're just seeing. I mean, what we can see now is just me trying to get the Blunder Cat out of the box. Let's just speed up. It just... I don't know what else to say about it. It's just... It seems like it's pointing towards some sort of hell area.
Yeah, you mentioned the red thing.
The red, Okay, well, I'll explain it now, because you might not get to see it, because I don't think I look at the sky in this one. But, on the bridge, on the Golden Gate, if you look at the, if you look up, like, facing Pack-a-Punch, if you look to the right and look up, you can see, on some games, you can see, like, a red sort of light in the sky. Now, some games doesn't appear, and I'm not sure why or when it appears, but it just feels like it either shouldn't be there, or it's pointing to, as what Jack thinks it might be, the original character making a comeback, and it's like they're shining down from Moon.
Got a few cans.
The reason I said this was mainly because when you look at it for a while, you see these rings come off of it, which is like a radio signal. And I just sort of thought, hang on a sec, radio transmissions back to Earth, and I just thought, well, there's only two groups of people who can do that. One is the guys from Die Rise, who I'm actually now starting to think it might be them because of the radio towers. I really should have thought about that before I said it. But then there's also the Moon thing. It could be either of them. We don't know.
The only problem I have with it being the Die Rise characters is that the radio towers. The radio towers were on the ground, and this red light is coming from what looks like space.
See, now what I think it is, Maxis' one is they're both radio towers, aren't they? I think Maxis. Are they?
Richtofen's transit is. Oh, what was it? I can't remember what Richtofen's transit is. It's like keeping the power on. You got to make the nav card and everything like that. And they both involve towers, but Richtofen's light is red on Die Rise. This is where it gets a bit more intriguing.
I think I know what it is. I think I've got a theory now. I think, right, Richtofen's trying to get the original guys back to Earth. They're on Moon and they're safe there, and Richtofen's like, well, they could get back somehow. So instead of that, he's thinking, if I bring them back and kill them, then I'll be good. I'll be like happy, and I think that's what Richtofen's
just to just break in for a second now. If you didn't know already, on Solo on Mob of the Dead, you can collect all of the plane parts in your own inventory. You don't need to keep running back to the plane like I was before. You can't see it, but I have picked up multiple plane parts without putting them on the plane. So I just thought I'd add that in. As you can see, I just picked one up, and I just picked up another one. So I'm just throwing that out there. Something with the Moon characters, or not even the Moon, the Black Ops characters, is they're still on the Moon. Now, Richtofen's signal beams from the Die Rise radio tower, like Maxis' ones, they fly up the tower and shoot out the top, as if they're sparking almost. Now, this is set in San Francisco, and then Die Rise is set in China. But then, what makes this more complicated, other than the distance between them, is the fact that it's a different time. This takes place in 1932, if you didn't already know, and Die Rise takes place in the campaign's year, which I think is 2030 something. I can't be sure, but the two of them have a massive, massive time difference, which led to our first conspiracy of this map being either in like its own time zone, where it's not in 1932, it's like it's like what's the word? It's separated from, it's segregated from the rest of the times of 1932. But in the opening cinematic, you can see everything is normal for a short period of time, but after the zombie appears, all of the windows and there's fire everywhere, everything's gone colour, there's fire, blockades, everything like that has just happened, just straight away, which made us think that maybe it's a different time period, like they've gone forward in time to when the missiles hit the Earth, or rather, it's the same 1932, but an alternate reality of it. And I wouldn't put it past the Zombies team or the story team to shove the story now into a basically multiple parallel worlds, parallel times going on. I don't know what else to say on it. I think it could lead to something to do with the original 4. I'm really hoping that it's the original 4 with trying to take down Richthofen, and that you have Samantha on your team rather than the Richthofen. Or if not that, implement the 8-player ability to have 4 players who are the 4 characters who are already in Black Ops mixed with the 4 characters already in Black Ops 1. So the 8-player gets implemented more than it already has, being just in Grief.
If I was in Grief, then I think I'd probably just kill myself if I was the
Well, no, I think that they should implement it into what we're watching now, solo and online survival, rather than just Grief. So instead of 4-player, it's 8-player, because we know that the servers can handle it with Grief. We know they can. So why haven't they shown it yet?
Good point.
I'll be back in a second. I just need to get a drink, so I'll leave you to talk about whatever you need to talk about.
Okay, well, my theory is that Richthofen is going to call the characters. Richthofen's side is he's going to call the original 4 back down to Earth because he wants them. They're part of his final plan or something. And if you use these guys, then they're going to either give Richthofen more power, or if you're using Maxis' side, these normal 4 are they're gonna stop them. So both Richthofen and Maxis need the 4 characters down, but for different reasons, obviously. So I think that the 4 characters that you see in transit are going to be part of their plans to bring the original 4 people back. And like in Call of the Dead, you need to do certain things to bring the characters back. So like they teleported them away to, I can't remember where, Shangri-La or something. And if you could use, I think Richthofen's going to use, and if you can use like the nav cards, they're like coordinates to where the the normal 4 are going to be taken back down. And I think maybe if that's one theory I have, or then each nav card is for one of the characters. So you've got like a nav card for Dempsey, Nikolai, Takeo, and I don't know. Is it Rick? It's Sam now, isn't it? Yeah, Samantha.
It's Samantha now.
Yeah. So I think they're going to somehow incorporate the nav cards to be something like that, and the radio towers are a way of signaling them to bring them down.
Something I'd like to mention with the nav cards is the nav cards connect the maps. Now on this map, I don't know if there is one or if you just haven't found it yet. There might be a nav card on this map. Because next to the name, sometimes you can see you have a nav card next to you.
You can see it, you can see it on your screen now. You can see it.
Exactly. You can.
Name.
Well, yeah. I can't see it personally because I've got the I can toggle the HUD on. So as you can see, there's a nav card next to it. And usually when there's a nav card next to it, there's a nav card table somewhere in the map. But this map, I don't think so. But if we think back to Transit, Transit's nav card doesn't fit in Transit's nav card table. It fits in Diarize. But I think everything's going to be in a cycle, which connects back to this map, because this map is a cycle, if we think about it, with the Easter eggs and everything like that. It's going to be an endless cycle, because the last map's nav card, if it has one, will go into the Transit table. Meaning whatever's going to happen ends on Transit.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
Something that not many people have thought about, because by now people have forgotten that Transit's nav card table currently doesn't have a nav card in it. Right now it has, well, it has nothing in it. It's empty. It's completely and utterly empty.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point actually.
I just remembered,
Actually, I never
shit,
thought
I
of
never